As the 23rd World Cup comes closer than ever, new implementations in the world's biggest tournament, such as the addition of 16 more teams, makes this upcoming tournament the biggest yet. New teams set to make their debut like Curacao, Cape Verde, Uzebkistan, and Jordan will be fighting to make their countries proud. And veteran teams such as Spain, France, England, and Argentina will be battling it out to see who really is the best in the world. Today, I'll be predicting the World Cup from the group stages all the way to the knockout. From Groups A, Group L, round of 16, all the way to the final. I hope you enjoyed this video. Group A consists of Mexico, Korea, South Africa, and the Czech Republic. Although a lot of people see Mexico topping the group, I believe that South Korea will come in first. And they continue to grow as one of Asia's most consistent tournament nations, with organization, pressing, and quality all across the pitch. South Korea is a very difficult team to play against, especially in these tight group stage matches. In second, it will be one of the host nations in Mexico. I do believe Korea possesses a little bit more, which means Mexico will come in second. Santi Jimenez and Raul Jimenez will be very key for this Mexican team, and Santi Jimenez represents the next generation of Mexican football. And although he lacked impact for AC Milan this season, I do believe he can return to his scoring ways. In third, it could be either of these nations, to be honest, but I have South Africa coming in third, and they bring a lot more unpredictability. They can easily spoil the fun for other nations, but I don't believe they'll go too far in the tournament. However, coming in third in Group A is a very notable achievement. One of their key players, and one of the players I've been watching closely, is Mbokazi. I do watch the MLS very often, and he plays for Chicago Fire. He's been consistently performing, and with only 12 matches started, he has an average rating of 7.3 and is still very young. Mbokazi is going to be a key piece to the South African defense, I'll tell you this. Last in Group A is going to be the Czech Republic. And although, as I said, you could put either South Africa and Czechia, my personal opinion is that although Czechia is ranked higher than South Africa, they've been absent from the tournament for 20 years. And it could be the reason why they don't go very far. Although they have notable names like Patrick Schick, Pavel Buka, and Thomas Souček, I don't believe they'll go too far. And Thomas Souček is very experienced. He's an experienced player and leader. And although he won't captain for the team, he'll continue to lead the Czech players with his experience in the midfield and his high influence. Now, for Group B, we have the second host nation in Canada. Then there's Qatar, Switzerland, and Bosnia. For Group B, to top the group is going to be the Swiss. Switzerland is not a country you'd usually think to be at the pinnacle of international football, but they've had a great run of form. I see them topping this group very easily. They entered the tournament after an unbeaten qualification campaign, and within that qualification campaign, they've only conceded 2 goals. A key player for the Swiss is the Swiss midfielder Granit Xhaka. He remains a major part of the team, and this season he's also helped his club team, Sunderland, qualify for European football. After the World Cup, Xhaka will keep building momentum, and at this world's biggest stage, a tournament where a lot of people will have eyes on you, and although he's aging, he'll continue to grow as a key player. Second, I believe it's going to be the Canadians. It's, to be honest, their most talented generation in their football history. Jonathan David, Ismail Kone, Alphonso Davies, they'll be playing at home, and it provides a major advantage for them. But Canada possesses speed and transition and a lot of individual quality in attacking areas. But the main concern that I have for Canada is, can they remain organized defensively? Jonathan David, who plays for my team, Juventus, unfortunately, he has been doing very poorly for his club. But in the international stage, David is Canada's most reliable goal scorer. He has a total of 39 goals in 76 games. So he has the ability to bring Canada forward, and with Alphonso Davies grabbing an injury and possibly missing a couple of games, David will have to step up and be the main attacking threat. He'll have to be the person who creates chances. He'll have to be the person who scores. It'll be a lot of pressure on him, but I do believe he can do it in this international stage. Third is going to be Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bosnia have enough quality to challenge Canada for second place, but I believe they lack the overall squad that Switzerland and Canada possess. The Bosnians rely heavily on their experienced players and are still led by a very veteran core group. Although that experience can win matches against teams like Qatar, I don't think it will be enough against younger and more athletic opponents. As I said, Canada has a lot of young players who have a lot of speed, so it will be very difficult for them to play against them. But Bosnia's biggest strength is their attack. However, the lack of elite depth make them a team that won't top the group and won't come in second, in my opinion. And last in Group B will be Qatar, and unfortunately they still haven't reached the level that many expected them to reach following Asian Cup triumph. Although they still possess technical quality from their domestic league core, they appear to be a step behind their group, and I don't see them coming away with any points. Now for Group C, a lot of people say that Group C is the group of death, and on paper it does look very difficult. You have Brazil, Haiti, Morocco, and Scotland. To top the group, I have Brazil. If you think of world football and you think of the World Cup, Brazil is one of the countries you think of first. They're the 5-time winning nation, and they enter the World Cup as one of the favorites to win it all. It's not a surprise. They have elite talent, depth across every position, and technical identity that balances attacking flair and defensive discipline. Brazil has previously relied on individual brilliance from key players and stars, but with the squad's talent, they can dominate possession, create chances from multiple areas of the pitch, and overwhelm their opponents in transition. Look out for Vini. Vini is one of the most dangerous wingers in all of world football. His chance creations, pace, dribbling makes him one of the focal points of the Brazilian attack. In second, I have Morocco. They've gained a lot of respect from everybody after reaching the semifinals of the 2022 World Cup and recently winning this year's AFCON. Their defensive organization, team chemistry, tactical discipline is going to be very beneficial for them. And the young and talented El Kanous will be a key part in their midfield and will help Morocco create chances. They also have the likes of Hakimi, and he's one of the most intelligent players in the world and arguably Africa's best player. The runs he makes in attacks, his recovery in defense, and overall leaderships makes him the centerpiece for Morocco. And Morocco will do a lot of great things in this tournament, and they could be one of the dark horses. Again, in 2022 they reached the semifinals, and this was historic. There'll be a lot of people backing Morocco in Africa, so watch out for them. Third, I believe, will be Scotland, and they possess a lot of quality, don't get me wrong, and have become more consistent under their manager Steve Clarke, and he's developed a clear identity, and their experience in midfield helps them in this group, but I see them coming third. Scott McTominay has been a great success for Napoli and will be a great success for Scotland. He's been very consistent and has had a successful season with his club, and his goal scoring ability will be central to their success in this tournament. Finally, Haiti will come last. A lot of people won't be surprised by my choice here. They have athleticism, and it could be difficult for opponents to come against them, but unfortunately they just lack a lot of depth, and there's a lot of inexperience in elite competitions. And now Group D, with the last host nation here in the USA. There'll be a lot of people supporting the United States, but I don't see them topping this group. The country that I see topping Group D is Turkey, and they have one of the highest chance creation ceilings per 90 in this group. Their strong transitional game and their depth in attacking rotations allows for many late game impact subs. One of the key players that I see here is Arda Güler. Arda Güler is a player that even in low possession matches can decide the game with a final third action. You've seen these at the Euros as well. His goal against I forget what nation was incredible. I do think with their young talented players like Kenan Yildiz and Arda Güler, they'll top this group with ease. Now, I have the US coming in second. The US have a lot of games played at home and won't have to struggle with fatigue due to their very low travel. The US have a strong pressing system under Pochettino, and Christian Pulisic remains the only consistent player in this US national team. He can provide goals and dribbling progression in tight matches, and although they have Weston McKennie, he hasn't been as consistent as Pulisic has been. Now in third, I have Australia, and they're a side who are competitive, but have a very limited ceiling. They heavily rely on transition and set pieces, and they struggle again in open play. Last is going to be Paraguay, and they're not expected to finish very far and very often have low possession in games, often under 40%. And although their defensive organization can help them, they're also a very low scoring side. And now Group E. Group E features one of the debutants in Curacao. Curacao, Ivory Coast, Ecuador, and Germany. Who do I see topping this group? Very easily Germany. Germany, even when not at their peak form, consistently outperform in group stages due to their possession, and they have a high level of squad depth across all positions, which aids them in rotating players. So when they face Curacao, they don't have to play their stars. They can rotate their core group and rest players for upcoming games. Jamal Musiala will be a difference maker in tight matches, especially against the Ivory Coast. He'll create overloads in 1v1 zones, and he'll be a key difference in close games. Second, Ivory Coast. Their physical dominance and their attacking explosiveness will help them score goals. Elite athletic profile across midfield and attack will be the key to their success. Player to watch for Ivory Coast is Diallo, Amad Diallo. Diallo will be a regular starter for Ivory Coast, and his experience in midfield on the right wing will help them create many chances when attacking. Third, it'll be Ecuador. Ecuador are one of the countries who have a very strong defensive structure, especially with their compactness in the midfield. One of my favorite players in Moises Caicedo plays for Ecuador, and he's the engine for this Ecuadorian squad, and without him they lose structure and resistance to transitions. He creates a lot of progression through the field and a lot of midfield ball recovery as well. And last, unfortunately, Curacao will be last. They are the World Cup, one of the World Cup debutants. Will be a very exciting team to watch. Me personally, since Italy unfortunately did not make the World Cup, I am a Dutch supporter. I fell in love with the country when I went there on vacation. And it's exciting to see that this country, which is a Dutch island, qualified for their first ever World Cup. Unfortunately, they lack experience, they lack depth, they won't have a lot of possession in any of their games. Qualifying for the tournament is an achievement in it itself for Curacao. Group F consists of Japan, Netherlands, Tunisia, and Sweden. The Netherlands will come first. The Oranje, or the Dutch, are a side that has been consistently performing in the World Cup stage. They create a lot of drama during exciting matches, and they consistently retain high possession in midfield zones, usually around 58 to 62%. At the time of this recording, Algeria did beat the Netherlands at a friendly, but again, I don't think anyone was trying too much, especially because they don't want anyone to get injured. I do believe that they'll go far and they'll have a lot of possession and a lot of high quality chances. In second, it will be the Japanese. The Samurai Blue, they consistently outperform expectations and are one of, if not the strongest Asian team. They have a lot of elite pressing efficiency, strong compact defense, and fast attacking transitions. Japan are able to thrive on slower paced opponents, but can also adapt and defend well when placed under pressure. Kubo will be Japan's creative outlet and ball progressor, so not only is he a winger, but he also acts as a secondary playmaker. So he'll be very key for Japan. In third, I have Sweden. Sweden are extremely competitive, but unfortunately they're not the same as they used to be without Zlatan. They lack the attacking variance that can consistently break down top tier defensive structure, and Sweden has a very strong midfield presence, good aerial ability, and organized shape in defense. However, they have very low creative output in open play. Alexander Isak had a very forgettable season with Liverpool, but he is still a player who can create separation in low cross scenarios, and he can also convert low volume chances and generate shots without his team dominating open play. So Sweden to come third, and last, Tunisia. Tunisia is a team who lacks sufficient attacking output to compete in this group, and I don't think they'll go very far. Now for Group G, with Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. To top the group, Belgium, and they're a side who are not at their peak, but they still have a capable and very strong team. Belgium has the highest concentration of players competing in Europe's top leagues. They have multiple players who possess match-winning mentalities, Jeremy Doku, Lukaku, but I do believe they will top this group. Second, I have Egypt coming in second. They second Iran. I believe Iran will come third, but they second Iran due to possessing the best attacking player in the group outside of Belgium. Egypt's World Cup squad is built around the partnership of Salah and Omar Marmoush. And even at Salah's stage his career, he remains one of the most influential international players in the world. As said previously, it's Iran in third and New Zealand fourth. Now, Group H. Group H has another debutant in Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, Spain, and Uruguay. To top this group, it's to no one's surprise, it's going to be Spain. Spain is one of the favorites in this year's tournament. They have Lamine Yamal, who is insane. He's on everyone's radar. He combines vision, dribbling, and pace to create chances at a rate that you would think would come from someone who's much older and experienced. This young talent will make an impact in the Spanish squad and become one of the greatest players in years to come. Now in second, it's going to be Uruguay. Uruguay, they remain very physical, have a squad built around an elite midfield and experienced defensive core. Their biggest concern is the consistency in attack, but I do believe with this group, they should still connect enough points to qualify. Third, I have Saudi Arabia, and unfortunately I have Cape Verde in fourth. It seems like in my predictions all the debutants are last. I do hope that one of the debutants pulls an upset. That would be an amazing story for their country, but it's going to be very difficult. Now, Group I, we have France, Norway, Senegal, and Iraq. To top the group, France. They're the most complete teams in world football. Even when someone's injured, they have a replacement on the bench who can perform as well, if not better, than whoever they just replaced on the bench. Although they have quality on the field, elite quality to say the least, they also have quality on their bench. Their squad depth is insane and opponents fear even when they make substitutions. Kylian Mbappe will be everyone's player to watch in this France team. He's the centerpiece of the entire national team setup and the most dangerous transition player in world football. Now, second, we have Norway. And Norway returned to the World Cup for the first time since 1998. And this is by far the most talented Norwegian generations in recent decades. They qualified without losing a game in their European qualification campaign. And unfortunately beat my team, Italy, very easily. Erling Haaland is another player who's extremely elite. He's the reason why Norway can beat almost anyone in a single match. Many defenders know where Haaland wants to go, but the only issue that defenders have is stopping him. Third, I have Senegal. The Senegalese remain the strongest side in Africa. Sadio Mane, Nicolas Jackson, Koulibaly, and many more players possess quality. The Senegalese have an excellent structure in defense, but are reliant in very direct attacking and struggle when faced against stronger possession-dominant opponents. And then last but not least, Iraq. Iraq returned to the main stage after 40 years, and although they don't possess individual star power, their qualification was built around teamwork, organization, discipline, and their collective effort. Group J, we have Lionel Messi in Group J with Argentina. We also have Algeria, Austria, and another debutant in Jordan. Argentina, I see them coming first as the previous champions. Although they're now older in key areas, they've successfully transitioned into a squad that blends experience with players who are also entering their prime years. Argentina are very flexible in many situations and are comfortable whether they're winning or losing. Even at 39, he's one of the greatest players to have ever set foot on a football. Argentina, they have a system, but additionally, they have Messi. Messi can create a goal from nothing. Although his dribbling isn't what it used to be, Messi has evolved into a playmaker and manipulates tempos very well, which can be key for the Albiceleste. Another key player I suggest to watch is Nico Paz. Nico Paz he plays for Como, and he's been key for Como's Champions League qualifications. He's an amazing dribbler and a great individual when it comes to passing and vision on and off. Second, I believe it's going to be Austria. They're a very quiet nation and slowly becoming Europe's most difficult team to play against. In third, I have Algeria, and in fourth, again, the debutants come in last. Group K with Portugal, Colombia, Uzbekistan, and DR Congo. I see Portugal coming in first, and it's most likely Ronaldo's last World Cup. Although Portugal used to heavily rely on their superstar, they now have a team with some very, very good talent across all positions. Portugal will have the ability to control matches through midfield with players like Fernandes, Silva, and Vitinha. Bruno Fernandes in the Premier League set a new record for the most assists in a single season with 21 assists. And this momentum, this accolade can heavily contribute to the Portuguese squad. He's an elite chance creator, he operates in many positions and heavily influences his side. Second, I have Colombia. Colombia entered the tournament as South America's most balanced side. They have technical ability, excellent midfield depth, and high-level tournament experience in this tournament. They thrive in transition, and the game against Portugal will definitely be one to watch. Colombia will be very heavily favored against both Uzbekistan and DR Congo, so I don't see them coming in third or even last. Luis Diaz will be their main man. He's evolved into a very dangerous wide player, and he's able to defeat defenders easily and will carry across the ball into dangerous areas, which will create a lot of XG. I believe that DR Congo will come third. They possess players who are growing in elite European competitions, excellent physical profile, dangerous attacking players, and a semi-strong transition game. Finally, Uzbekistan will come last, and they're the final debutants in this tournament and one of the countries who have definitely improved over the past decade. Again, as I said, I really do hope that the nations, one of the debutant nations, cause an upset, but we'll see as the tournament progresses. And finally, Group L, the final group of this year's World Cup. Croatia, England, Ghana, and Panama. To top the group, I have England. Do I think it's coming home? England is a team with an elite level of players, and although their manager has done some questionable decisions in their call-ups, they have many key players that are entering the tournament at their peak. They're among the strongest squad in their group. England should dominate possessions in all of their games, and they do have a very favored group draw. Bellingham will be the most complete midfielder, and he will be one of England's most important players entering the tournament. Second, I believe it will be Ghana. While Croatia may be more tactically refined, Ghana possess the higher physical ceiling. Croatia has the chance to come second, and the game between the two nations will be the decider for qualifications. Third, my opinion, will be Croatia, and Croatia's generation that reached multiple World Cup semifinals and finals is transitioning. Croatia has outstanding tactical structure and an elite level of tournament experience, and as said previously, the game against Ghana will make or break their qualification. Finally, I have Panama to come last. In the knockouts, Korea Republic and Ecuador. I see Korea Republic winning this easily. Canada versus Morocco. It's going to be Morocco. Morocco is very, very strong, and Canada lacks the experience that Morocco has. Switzerland against Sweden. I believe it will be the Swiss. Brazil against Mexico. Unfortunately, this will be the last game that the host nation plays, so it will be Brazil. Turkiye, as I said, Arda Güler and Kenan Yıldız way too strong. Their attack is very powerful, and although they haven't been successful in other years, I do think they'll beat Croatia. Ivory Coast against Japan. This one is a very interesting. It will be a very fun game to watch as well. But I do believe the Samurai Blue will beat Ivory Coast. For Germany against Senegal, easily Germany. Netherlands against the US, wherever this game is, I do think that the Netherlands will come away with a win, and the US will only make it to the round of 32. Now, Belgium against Iran, very easily Belgium, much stronger side. Uruguay against Norway, this one is very interesting as well. With Norway having Erling Haaland, it will be tough, but I do think Norway can pull it off. Spain against Algeria, it will very easily be Spain. And France against Egypt, very easily France. Argentina against Australia, that will also very easily be Argentina. I think Messi, although he's extremely old, possesses elite level quality, and I think everyone can agree with me. Colombia against Ghana, Colombia. Portugal against Scotland, it will be Portugal. And then England against Austria, it will be England. Now, for the round of 16, Korea against Morocco. Now, this is a more balanced game, in my opinion. But with Morocco's recent success, it's going to be Morocco. Switzerland against Brazil. Again, Brazil is too powerful of a side for the Swiss to keep up with. Brazil is very strong in attack, and they'll just beat the Swiss very easily. Turkiye against Japan. Although I'm a very big fan of Arda Güler, Çalhanoğlu, and Kenan Yıldız, I think this is as far as they go. Japan is going to beat Turkey in the round of 16 to reach the quarterfinals. Germany against the Netherlands. Again, I'm a very, very big Dutch fan in this year's World Cup, but Germany possess a lot more elite level players and just have overall greater experience in this tournament as well. Belgium versus Norway, I think it will easily be Norway, Erling Haaland to score. Spain versus France. This is going to be very tough for both oppositions. And although France has gone to a final twice in a row, I believe it will be Spain. Argentina against Colombia. This is pretty much a derby, to be honest, the South American derby, with Luis Diaz and Messi facing off. Unfortunately, I don't think the Colombians have enough talent to beat Messi and his squad, so Argentina. And then Portugal against England. Is it coming home? No. Portugal will win that game with the likes of Vitinha, probably Ronaldo to score a brace. Although England have a lot of talent, as mentioned previously, I just think Portugal will win that matchup. Morocco against Brazil. For a lot of people will be mad at me, but I think that Morocco will reach the semifinals once again. Brazil, although they have a lot of attacking players, I don't see them coming to the semifinals, especially due to their inconsistency in previous international breaks. I think Morocco will beat Brazil, and it'll be through extra time. It'll be tied 2-2, and then Morocco will score in extra time. And now, Japan against Germany. Although the Samurai Blue will be very happy with getting to the quarterfinals, Germany is just way too strong. And so, Norway against Spain. This will be the end of Erling Haaland's World Cup run. And then Argentina against Portugal. This will, other than the final, this would be one of the most watched games of all time if it happens. But I do believe that there is a little bit of script coming into this tournament. This will be most likely both Messi's and Ronaldo's last World Cup. I do believe that Portugal will come away and they'll win against Argentina in the quarterfinals. Semifinals, Morocco against Germany. Although I placed Morocco to come very far in this tournament, Germany is just way too strong, so Germany to reach the final. And semifinals, Spain against Portugal, Ronaldo. And now, the final, Germany against Portugal, Ronaldo to win. Ronaldo to win the World Cup. This will be very emotional for him if he does reach this level and if he does reach the final. A lot of people will want Ronaldo to win this World Cup if he does come very far. There'll be a lot of people cheering for Portugal if he does get to the finals. And in my personal opinion, I do think he will. Listen, if you've enjoyed this video, my prediction, comment who do you think is going to win. subscribe for more footy videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.